Greetings, I'm Nosi, and today we're diving into Soulx-podcast 1.7b, a tool that transforms text into strikingly realistic multi-speaker podcast content with dialectal diversity and emotional nuance. What if the human voice was no longer the exclusive domain of humans? Reality fractures as Soulx-podcast 1.7b emerges from the digital mist. Not just another text-to-speech tool, but a conversation simulator that breathes dialectal personality and emotional texture into artificial dialogue. This open-source model doesn't just read text. It performs it across multiple voices with paralinguistic elements like laughter and sighs, supporting both Mandarin and English along with Chinese dialects. This isn't just incremental progress. It's a fundamental shift in how we conceive of automated content creation. The digital dojo behind Soulx-podcast runs on neural architecture, requiring serious computational firepower. You'll need Python 3.11 and a dedicated GPU with at least 8 GB of VRAM. The model weighs in at 1.7 billion parameters distributed across multiple specialized networks, handling everything from voice cloning to dialectal adaptation. What separates this from other open-source voice models is its unique multi-speaker dialogue system with paralinguistic controls. If we were to think deep, people who would buy products created by this tool include podcast networks seeking cost-effective content scaling, educational publishers creating immersive language learning materials, game developers needing diverse character voices, and media companies producing localized content for global markets without hiring voice actors for every dialect. First, launch a podcast production service offering custom voice cloning for creators without recording equipment. Second, create a subscription-based audiobook platform with dialect options for immersive storytelling. Third, develop vocal training datasets for speech therapists. Fourth, produce voice avatars for virtual worlds. Fifth, offer voice localization services for international businesses entering dialect-sensitive markets. Welcome to our judgment matrix, where we look at the 5-star index rating for this AI tool, examining the workforce earthquake rating, monetization potential rating, and operational cost efficiency rating for Soulx-podcast. The voice acting landscape trembles as this technology matures. Voice actors for commercial content, audiobook narrators, and podcast producers face significant disruption, especially those working in localization and dialect-specific content. Radio personalities and voiceover artists specializing in commercial work will find their market shrinking. I would give Soulx-podcast a rating of 4 on the judgment matrix for workforce earthquake because it threatens routine voice work while still leaving room for premium human performance. The gold beneath this tool lies in its ability to scale content across language barriers and dialectal variations without multiplying production costs. However, the technical complexity and compute requirements create adoption barriers for smaller players. Voice rights and ethical concerns may restrict commercial applications in some markets. I would give Soulx-podcast a rating of 3 on the judgment matrix for monetization potential, because while opportunities abound, regulatory uncertainty and technical barriers limit immediate profitability. Behind the seamless voices lies a resource-hungry beast. The model requires substantial GPU resources for both training and inference, with costs escalating rapidly when generating hours of podcast content. Storage requirements multiply when maintaining various voice models and dialect variations. I would give Soulx-podcast a rating of 2 on the judgment matrix for operational cost because high-quality, multi-speaker generation remains computationally expensive, limiting accessibility for individual creators. As synthetic voices become indistinguishable from human ones, we must ask, does authenticity still matter when the artificial sounds more real than reality? The line between human and machine creativity continues to blur, forcing us to reconsider what makes communication meaningful. Thanks for watching. If these insights resonated, subscribe to help our channel grow.